This is a day that the Lord has made. Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa. Welcome to my channel. It is Friday and I'm sporting this ponytail. I think my hair is finally growing after I kept cutting away at it to try to make it look right. Oh, did I not put on my other earring? I am so excited to be making this video with y'all, spending time with you. It's been quite a week. How was your week? How are you doing? I would love engagement, comments in the comment section. I do want to share some of my week. 3 things happened related to my son this week. My son has a knee injury, so he will not be playing tonight, and I've got to go get an MRI or whatever kind of scan for the doctor to figure out what is going on. So that happened during the week. You know, when it comes to my son, I drop everything to do what I gotta do for him. I don't even care if I had an important meeting at work. My son comes first. And then I think it was Wednesday morning, I dropped my son off at school, and one of the employees at school, and I guess they're responsible for keeping up with the students who may end up with no credit due to having too many absences, due to having a lot of tardies, apparently. This is new for me. And so my son and I have a relationship where he informs me right away. So he texts me as he was walking to class. And I'm, at the stop sign because it's really busy in the morning. So I read it, and then I decide to call because at that point I knew school was started and everybody was probably in their offices for the most part. So I took the chance and I called the school to speak to him, to the staff member. I was trying to explain to him the situation, and he just kept insisting that he was not going to get a credit if he didn't figure it out or something like that. So to explain the situation with as little details as possible, I have shared with you all my son goes to a vocational school. Well, it ends right during the time lunch is happening at his high school. And there's only a 15-minute window for him to get from the vocational school to his next class at high school. In that 15-minute window, he has to, of course, get back to school. He has to change out of uniform because they wear uniform at that vocational school. If he needs to go to the bathroom, he needs to do so at that time. He needs to sign back into the high school. He needs to grab a lunch. Not counting walking to the vehicle to get back to school, getting out of the vehicle to walk to the office to specifically sign in. And then if there's a line, because he's not the only kid that goes to vocational school, he's got to wait, he's got to scan. He said they have to sign a paper. And then there's the walk time if he chooses to go to the cafeteria. And then there's a wait time to wait for his lunch. He said it could be up to 10 minutes just waiting for lunch. Then he has to walk. Like I said, if he's going to go to the bathroom, he's got to do that at some point. He has to figure out when he's changing. He has to walk upstairs and towards the end of the building, he was saying, to get to his classroom, etc. Now, I guess I need to back up too, because I am in business is my degree. When I was in high school, I wanted to do business, medical, or criminal justice because I really was interested in becoming an investigator. I was pretty interested in becoming a doctor, or more or less where I am right now. I tried all of them. Got my feet wet doing, what are those called? The nursing assistant program. I also took some criminal justice courses when I was in college, just to make sure I wanted to go where I did. I do like problems because I like solving them. I like getting all the facts. I like getting all the information. I like testing out things. I like demonstrating. So what I did was, I know that even with traffic, I would say that from the vocational school to the high school, it's 5 minutes. These kids are almost running, right? As soon as vocational school ends, they're practically running to their transportation, whether it's to get on the school bus, whether it's because they drove themselves, they're running. So I know it takes more or less 5 minutes. He has to change. I don't know, that might take a minute. And he has been changing in the vehicle he carpools with. Then I timed the walk from where he would be parked to the office. That was 5 minutes, y'all. So that's, let's just call it 10. I don't know how long it takes to sign in and all that. And then to walk to the cafeteria. If I time that from the time he leaves sign in to get into the cafeteria line, I would say 3 minutes. So that's we're up to 13 minutes. And then he says he has to wait up to 10 minutes in the line. That's going to be 23 minutes. To walk back to his class, to actually get into his class, I would say is 5 minutes. That's 28 minutes. Now, if he chooses to go to the bathroom and change, that might be a 30-minute process that he does not have. So he is marked tardy every single day. Now, because he carpools, I've asked him, what is going on with the people you carpool with? And he carpools with different people. So they arrive at the same time and do everything. They said their teacher does not mark them tardy. So I had all this information, plus knowing, you know, what is his grade at the vocational school. So I gathered all that. Back to the conversation I had with the staff member that told him he would have a no credit. I was livid. I was mad. Like, how can you count this against him? So by the time I got to my job, of course, I prayed on it. I ended up arriving 15 minutes early to work. And I remembered in my drive that I had communication by email with the teacher after vocational, the high school teacher, because I did notice that my son was telling me I'm late to school after my vocational class every single day. So I had this conversation and she put in an email, tardies will not count against him and the principal is aware. I forget all about it. I'm like, this is taken care of, you know, so it's off of my radar. So I remembered that email, so I forwarded the email again with the teacher, the high school teacher, with staff member who said there was no credit, and I copied the principal. And I'm like, what is going on here? You know, and I gave some of the information I just shared with y'all. How is he going to get there on time? And there is actually time that he doesn't even eat lunch, but he still ends up tardy. So I explained that. And that was at, what, 7:45 in the morning when I sent the email. I kept checking my email. No one responded. So this is high on my priority. When you mess with my kid, you mess with the wrong person. Only when I believe that he's not at fault and that it's not fair. I got this bright idea. Yesterday morning at about, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning, I respond to the 3 people, plus I include the superintendent, plus I included the attendance the actual attendance person, because maybe she knows something. She could give information. I don't know. I was going to include others, but that's as far as I went. Like, hey, I have not heard from anyone. And I didn't know about the other kids' teachers who were not marking him tardy the day before. So I added that information. And I'm like, I'm going to the school this morning and I will stay there as long as I need to and miss as much work as I need to until I get these tardies excused. That's exactly what I did. But at that point, I do think the principal was already waiting for me. Another thing I did, because I don't know how no credit affects sport eligibility. So I included his football teacher, but on a side message, because I didn't even think to add him at the time. In the side message, I said, hey, coach, if you agree with what I'm saying, will you help me advocate for this, for my son? The principal was waiting for me and she's like, oh, are you so-and-so's mom? And I said, yes. And she's like, I'm glad you came in. She's like, I'm sorry I didn't text you. I was waiting to speak to the vocational teacher. And I guess they want to know that he went there maybe. And maybe they want to know what his grade is. I don't know. But he has 100% at the vocational program. And so I was like, oh, he's doing really well over there. And she's like, oh, I like your son. He's a really good kid. She's like, I promise these tardies will not count against him. He will get his credit. Oh. So I'm so glad that was taken care of by 7:30 yesterday morning. And I was able to get to work on time. Even though I told my boss, I don't know how long this is going to take. I am advocating for my child, and I am not going to leave the school until I get resolution. So that's the mama I am, y'all. Now for myself, I will advocate, but not to that extreme. I am trying to talk to y'all and do other things at the same time. You're awake, babe?
Why do you keep doing that? I've been awake.
Okay, be down in 10 minutes. 15 minutes. Trying to make sure my son's awake. Well, that was one situation, and I'm so thankful that got resolved. While I seem really livid and upset and mad about it, I keep my composure. I don't yell. I don't cuss. I don't need to get physical to get my point across. I greeted the principal with a big smile. Hi, nice to meet you. Went into her office. I'm like, oh, this is my first time in the principal's office. And got things done. So that was one thing that I wanted to share. I told you all that my son was going to be tested for the gifted program, which the gifted program is 3 tests that you have to take. And you have to score above 92%. You only have to score above 92% in one of the areas, and you will be gifted. My son tested over 92% in 2 out of the 3 areas. And the other areas, she's like, he's average, then that's fine. She's like, there's no problem with that. She had a conversation with my son, and she's like, I bet he's excelling at his vocational school because his testing shows us what predicts that, right? And she's like, I bet he's very bored, doesn't want to go to school because he's not challenged, she said, and he probably procrastinates. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly my kid. He won't do his assignments. So I'll see 0, 0, 0, 0s for a week or 2. Then he goes and does it, and then I see A+, 100%. Or, you know, if there's points deducted, they get deducted. But, yeah, that's my kid. Him and I are more alike than he thinks. But they say when people are so alike, they clash. That could be me and him's problem, because he is my mini-me, but a better version. And y'all, speaking of the vocational class, I gotta take him there. What I want to end with is advocate for your child. be that voice. Even though my son is 16, he still doesn't know exactly how to, he wouldn't have known exactly how to win this for himself. Get all the facts. You don't have to do as much as I did, but that's how my analytical, critical brain thinks. I get all the information. I will tell us the story so you know exactly what happened. I get all the details. The principal's like, she knew from the beginning. He's excused, you know, I don't need to hear anymore. But yeah, I told her, no, I got all this information. I timed the walk. I did this. I did that. I do think my son's smartness and all that is God-given. I do think it's genetics because I was gifted as a child too. I tested high in those tests and was in the gifted program. But third, I do think that spending all that time with him as a little kid, a child is developing their foundation all the way to the time they're 7 years old. Once they're 7, there are exceptions, but their foundation is built already. And of course, there's always exceptions that, yes, they can still get that strong foundation if they didn't have it the first 7 years. A chance for them to make the good habits and learn what they need to learn. But yeah, I think that is a huge part because I worked on with my son one-on-one with everything. We didn't have the TV on. We didn't have any distractions like that. We would work on puzzles. I would read to him. We would sing. We would dance. We would build things with Legos and Connects and clay and color and write. Be storytellers together. Create things, all of that. It matters. It all matters. Okay, I gotta go take my kid. I really wanted just to boast about my baby and me. But hopefully, you know, this helps. I choose to put God first, and I feel like I'm fearless because of that, and I have the utmost confidence in myself, and I have no worries. I knew I was going to get that no tardy excused. I knew it. I believed it. The day is going to be what you make of it. I hope you enjoyed. I love you. And like I said, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.